Elle, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I come to you with a favor, please, if you wouldn't mind helping me finish this sentence.
Oh, God.
I might swerve, bend that corner.
Whoa, whoa.
It's the song of the year, and we're only 7 days in. Let's go.
That's why it's the song of the
Come
year.
on.
Welcome to the Elle Duncan
Watch
Show
it.
with Gary
It's a
Streisky.
heater.
For those of you that don't know, because Gary had to put me on some game too, I've been looking at other petty, salacious stories on social media.
Why? What's been going on?
I totally missed that LiAngelo Ball released what Gary believes is a banger. The song is called Tweaker.
Yep.
It's not bad.
Stop it.
It's not
Stop
bad.
it. You're looking. No, don't be a pessimist.
No,
just
I'm
be a
not.
pessimist. That thing is a bangerang, and you
Okay,
know it.
if I'm putting it through the prism of he's an act, like if this is just a song that pops up on TikTok and someone's doing like a whatever to it, I would be like, meh. But considering when you run it through the filter of him being an athlete and having no discernible rap skills, I think it's pretty good.
Everybody's calling for it. The Lions are, yo, play that Jello.
Yeah.
The Nets are walking into the arena with that Jello. The Detroit Pistons are warming up before the game with that Jello playing in the arena.
Whoa,
it is a
whoa, whoa.
certified banger. And as everybody has been quick to point out, Jello has finally made himself a mainstay in NBA locker rooms. You know
Finally.
what I'm saying? That dude is front and center in NBA locker rooms
He's
now.
finally a part of victory celebrations.
That's what I'm saying. He's transcending basketball because he's part of victory celebrations in football. I'm assuming they're bumping it maybe in hockey arenas too, Elle. And guess what? And he's got more. Because you know why? Lonzo, he ain't been doing much. Not hooping. He's back now, but he's been in the booth with him.
Oh, so he's been like writing these lyrics for
the balls are on a generational
They're
run.
multi-talented.
Come on.
I think that you like it, and I resonated with it a little bit up front too, because it's giving very 2000s big timer.
Yes.
Whoa, it's giving very Birdman.
I'm the number one stunner. Oh. And here's the thing. It makes perfect sense because think about it. I mean, Lonzo, Jello, Melo, all young in their 20s and whatnot. But think about their pops, LeVar, right?
Yeah.
His heyday was late 90s, early 2000s. So
Oh, yeah.
he was bumping the big timers.
All of that.
He was bumping Cash Money. He was bumping G-Unit around the kids during that impressionable time. And now all of a sudden they're bringing it back 20 years later. It's fire. All of the edits of Jello's song playing underneath like these and one mixtapes and whatnot. It's
Everybody get your roll
awesome.
on.
But I think that's the only thing that people are talking about in the sports world.
Yep. And we're going to leave that there. I think.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Elle.
Yep. We're just going to. How long can we say Happy New Year?
What's your position on this?
I'm still saying, I think that when you haven't seen people since the new year, you get to hit them with a Happy New Year.
Up until February.
No, I think by Friday we need to be wrapping that up.
Okay, because right now it's the 7th, so a lot of people like first week put it to bed. But I'm with you on the first part of that. I think you can say Happy New Year to people until you see them. Like if I don't see somebody
until August, you're going to say Happy New Year.
Well, until February. If I see someone January 30th that I haven't seen, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Some people are like, if it's the 2nd of January, we're putting it to bed.
We have a lot of parameters on how long you're able to say things.
Well,
like,
it's similar to
what?
How old is that baby? 456 months.
I don't even know where this conversation came from, but I was just having this conversation with someone.
Okay.
It's so funny when people that don't have kids tiptoe around that. They'll be like, how long is appropriate to say how many months old your baby is? Because like sometimes people make me do a lot of math. And here's my hardline stance on this. 18 months. You can say up to 18 months. After that, that baby's a year and a half.
Okay.
That baby's almost. Parents of newborns want to give you the exact month because they don't want any judgment. It's like, oh, this baby's losing its shit, but that's because it's only 13 months old.
Okay.
But once you hit 18 months, stop making people do math. I had a lady once tell me that her baby was 37 months old. I'm legitimately like,
That's 3 years old.
yeah, just say 3.
That baby can speak.
That baby is asking for the titty. So it's not a newborn anymore.
Am I 37 months old?
I'm
37
501
years old.
months old, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
41 years old. I'm 501 months old.
Just a baby.
So how about we just
Just
say,
a baby.
how about we just say, get layout after 18 months. Let's leave that whole 46-month-old kid thing in 2024. Should we do that?
Boom. You don't have to tell me.
Should we look ahead to what people should be doing in 2025, Gary Bear?
I think we're there, Elle. Let's get it.
You want to start with women's basketball? I'm about to be upset with our producers.
Why? What happened?
I love Sarah, Jackson, and Christina.
What'd they do?
But they are really out here trying to convince me that Paige Bueckers is in some kind of slump. I'm sick of it. I love y'all. No, stop it.
Well,
here's the question they presented. Paige Bueckers, we're going to do fill in the blank.
Okay.
All right. Paige Bueckers should blank in the new year. And then underneath, it's like, what does Paige need to do to get out of this slump? What slump? You guys, this poor woman, the bar is so high that a woman that's literally on the precipice of history, about to become the fastest player in UConn history, to hit 2,000 points. She would break Maya Moore's record.
Okay.
And we're over here saying she's in a slump.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, Elle.
She's got the best, I think, field goal percentage of her career.
Okay.
But she's in a slump? Come on.
This is what I'll say to that. Paige Bueckers should put herself in a bubble when she is not playing basketball. Listen, she is the engine that drives the UConn bus. She is the straw that stirs the drink. And last week in Villanova, when she took that body to the left knee, which, by the way, she tore that ACL in that knee in 2022, which forced her to miss 2023. If Paige Bueckers isn't Paige Bueckers, UConn can't be UConn. It's simple as that. So Paige Bueckers, what she needs to do, pray to who she prays to, burn the sage, do whatever you got to do, but you have to stay healthy.
That was literally my recommendation. Paige Bueckers, and throw in Gino too. What they need to do is burn sage.
There it is.
Because people are like, can this UConn team, I keep getting that question too. Is UConn going to be able to, the thing about UConn is we just don't know because they can't all stay on the floor at the same time, right? Like
that gives you your answer.
All of the really big teams that are, I think in my mind, legitimate contenders have three players they can really lean on. I'm looking at like Notre Dame, whose backcourt is the best in college basketball. And UConn needs that with Paige, AZ, and Sarah Strong. But unfortunately, those three can't stay on the court at the same time. Right? They finally get AZ back, and then Paige gets hurt. They had AZ for a minute. She got hurt. So I think it's just hard to tell, is this UConn team capable of accomplishing what they set out to at the beginning of the year when they felt like they were in a pretty good spot to compete for a national championship? Sure, but we just don't know. And it hasn't helped that their two sort of big opportunities to get wins against really big teams, against USC and against Notre Dame, haven't gone exactly well. But I'd also like to remind everyone that Notre Dame has beat, out of 5 tries, 4 AP ranked teams. Notre Dame is amazing. And we'll get to Notre Dame in just a second. In fact, let's do it now. Fill in the blank. Hannah Hidalgo should. What? I just go on an ADD tour.
That was funny. We're going to get to Notre Dame in a second, like right this second.
Like actually right now in this second. You know what?
Hannah Hidalgo, better than JuJu Watkins, what?
Blank. What? Hannah Hidalgo should blank.
Win the Wooden Award? What? Second in the nation in scoring. Listen, her and JuJu Watkins are back and forth. I think Hannah averages 25.9. JuJu's at 25.1. She just needs to keep doing what she's doing. How about that? Just keep doing what you're doing.
She's the second highest scorer. She's 11th in 3-point percentage.
Okay.
She's on pace to lead the nation in steals for a second straight year.
Only a sophomore.
And she only needed 45 appearances to reach 200 career steals, which ties a Division I record over the last 25 seasons. Like Hannah Hidalgo is the truth. And she was so good last year as a freshman. And honestly, if not for JuJu, really would have contended for freshman of the year. But then she's gotten even better with Olivia Miles coming back because Olivia Miles is a facilitator. So last year, Hannah was expected to do both. She had to dish. She was asked to sort of be the floor general, and now she doesn't have to do any of that. Yeah. Notre Dame is for real.
Notre Dame is sick. 2 losses, but still sick.
They've got the toughest schedule.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've beat, out of their 5 tries, they beat 4 AP-ranked teams. Like, with all due respect to a team like LSU, my husband was asking me that in the kitchen today because we are getting ready to go to College Game Day. I'm not going to announce where it is. I'll just say there's a reason I brought that up with that particular team.
Go G-A-U-X
well done, Elle.
Tigers. Breaking news on the Elle Duncan show.
Really in mid-season form here.
Quite literally, though, at the mid-season point.
Yeah, we are.
We're 15 games into
but
a 30-game
that's what he asked me. He's like,
season.
so what's up with LSU? I'm like, well, they're undefeated, but they haven't played literally anyone. And Kim Mulkey tends to do that. She likes to backload her team.
Okay.
She likes to sort of figure out who her team is and give them a really soft schedule.
Yeah.
They haven't played anybody. Notre Dame's played a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
Their measuring stick is high. Like they I think are legit. South Carolina is going on a gauntlet run. They're about to face Texas A&M and Texas, a couple of tough teams in the SEC. We've already seen UCLA beat South Carolina.
We got to talk about UCLA.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about UCLA.
I
think they're in the pole position.
They are. Nobody's going to beat UCLA. They're undefeated. They've scored the most points than anybody in the country by like 100. And I think what we learned last year when South Carolina played Iowa in the Natty is that, yes, you can have backcourt and yes, you can have off-ball scorers, but if you don't have a paint presence and if you don't have a dominant presence like UCLA does in Lauren Betts, like South Carolina did last year with Camila Cardoso, you can't make a deep run. And UCLA has the best big woman in the country. I don't know, 6'7", Lauren Betts, double-double every single game. What's ridiculous about UCLA, they have 3 ranked wins. They're 15-0. We're literally halfway through the season. Elle, can you tell me, of those 15 wins, they're 15-0, how many of those wins were by single digits?
I don't know. I feel like you know that stat, though.
1.
Wow.
Their season opener against Louisville.
Okay.
They won by 7. Every other game, and 3 of those have been ranked, they've won by double digits.
Yeah.
UCLA is a wagon. They're nasty. So good luck to anybody else.
It's interesting because I was having this conversation last year at the national championship, and Diana Taurasi was basically saying, like, you know, in women's basketball, height is still a huge advantage. Yeah. Right? Like in the NBA, it's not tall. Still everybody's tall.
Everybody's tall.
And if you're just tall but not athletic, right? You're not necessarily, it's not tantamount to success.
Yeah. In
the women's space, still just being tall is a huge advantage.
Correct.
It helps when you are also as athletic as Lauren Betts is, because she's very smart.
Colorado,
player
by the
too.
way.
Colorado.
Yeah.
She's a very smart player. She can shoot over either shoulder. She also knows that, like, when she's being posted up, she can kick the ball back out. She's got Kiki Rice on the perimeter. Like, she is a smart player, incredibly athletic. Spent a little time hurt, and they still, you know, kept moving and rolling. I think that UCLA has been the fun surprise of the year because while certainly everybody saw them coming based on last year and the run that they made, everybody thought the team out of California, out of LA we would be talking about would be USC. And while USC is still has their whole season ahead of them, they haven't taken that next step quite like we thought that they would. Now, JuJu and Kiki Iriafen are finally sort of finding their footing and their 1-2 punch. But UCLA has been such a fun story.
They're sick.
They're really, really good. All right, last one for you.
6'7" in the women's game.
It's huge.
Got to be like Victor Wembanyama in the NBA.
100%.
Like 6'7" versus 6'2" or even 6 foot. That's a cheat code. You have a sixth person out there.
Yeah.
You literally, I mean, you don't literally have a sixth person out there, but I mean, that's what it has to amount to.
It's legitimately why South Carolina is trying
they're
trying to find their footing in terms of replacing Camila Cardoso and having that great post presence.
You can't replace 6'7" unless you're replacing it with 6'7".
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Or 6'6". Think about it. Think about that. That's a bar. I'm bringing you into 2025 with absolute heaters. Call me Jello. You know what I'm saying? I might swerve in that corner. Whoa, whoa.
Gary just brought us the hard-hitting analysis that if you lose someone that's 6'7" and you replace them with someone that's not 6'7",
then guess what?
That is a disadvantage.
Boom. Elle is a quick learner. She's only 501 months old, but she is learning quick. Our little baby Elle, 501 months. All right, 501 months, still a little baby.
All right, so it is a new year.
Yes.
And I think that there's always so much reflecting on the year that has gone. And then there's also some gripping for what we hope are things that we can leave dead and buried in the last year.
Whoa.
So how about we run through a few things?
Okay.
Will they be in or out in 2025?
All right.
Okay, you ready? I'll start. Celebrity lookalike contest.
Everybody loves having the who's your doppelganger conversation. Yeah, okay, Taylor Lautner, I've heard it. Mario Lopez, okay, I've heard it.
What?
Henry Golding, okay, I've heard it. Get a new slant. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if I was bald, I've heard it.
That's not anything anyone's ever accused you of being.
Okay, Blue Cantrell, you better chill.
He knows that I've gotten Blue Cantrell.
Okay.
There's so many people right now going, who? Just Google.
Okay, Christina Milian, you better chill out.
I was actually catering an event one time.
Wait, actually, let me
I'm like 20
Blue
years
Cantrell.
old. Hit 'em Up style from Blue Cantrell is like top of the charts. I am like in a catering outfit.
Oh my God.
I'm holding like a tray. And someone came up to me at a party and was like, oh my God, are you Blue Cantrell? I was like, yes. And when my song is not number one on the charts, I cater. What? No. It was like an industry party in Atlanta, and I'm literally a caterer. And I had like multiple people that were like, Blue, is that you? I was like, catering? No, it's not.
Nah, but for real, I love your work, Faith Evans.
I get Faith Evans a lot too.
You do? Yeah.
My husband's favorite line is that I sound like Faith Hill, but look like Faith Evans. Tracks.
That's a compliment.
It is,
right?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Faith Hill's great. I love her. All right, next thing. In or out in 2025? The Falcons in need of a new quarterback.
I mean, just that I'm in on that and out with Kirk Cousins as the quarterback. I mean, Michael Penix, you already put him in there. You spent an 8th overall pick on him. They don't want to pay the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, $30 whatever million that they're gonna owe him, even though they're gonna have to pay a little bit of that. Kirk Cousins is gonna be a member of the Cleveland Browns next year.
Do you think that's who's going to pick him up? I mean, there's certainly, listen,
so.
He's going to land somewhere.
Yeah.
There are certainly teams that need that.
I think the Raiders might make a play at him.
The Raiders could make a play.
Yeah.
There'll be some opportunities. I think Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins are going to be in the same train in terms of same attention by the same teams.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing with Kirk Cousins is that, like, while I think that his career is over, I think the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. At the very least, Kirk Cousins is not napalm in your locker room. How about in or out on 2025? Cybertrucks.
I'm in on Cybertrucks. I love a Cybertruck. I was one of the first to put a deposit on a Cybertruck, $100. All right, $100. This
Still
was
waiting
like
on that car?
No, they sent me an email that my Cybertruck was ready. But you know me, I couldn't wait 4 years, so I done got myself a different kind of truck.
Thank God.
Cybertrucks are sweet.
They are so hideously ugly. And I got to be honest, like, to me, Cybertrucks are the new Hummer. Where, like, whenever I see someone drive by in one, I'm like, I get it. Your dick is small. Okay. I believe you.
I better not get a Cybertruck then. Even though I want one real bad. They're sweet.
They look like a dumpster and the DeLorean. Hooked up one night.
Ella, DeLorean is like every kid's childhood fantasy
from
car.
1983.
You know what, Elle?
They're horribly ugly.
I wish you would have left this negativity in 2024. Okay, what happened to my positive friend Elle?
Me?
I thought that's who I was gonna meet in 2025. I like Cybertrucks.
Me?
Yeah, you're right. What's
in
next?
or out in 2025? Caitlin Clark wins MVP.
Oh, I'm all in on that. Tail end of last year, we had we had a lot of great discussions as to the merits on why she should, and if not for Asia Wilson's otherworldly year, it would have been Caitlin Clark's, especially the way she came on in the second half, leading the Fever to playoff berth for the first time in damn near a decade.
Yeah. I feel like we always have some surprise like player who just plays otherworldly and lights out. I'm looking at maybe like a Nafisa Collier to really like pick up where she left off. Had an amazing year. Honestly, again, as I said during the season, if Asia didn't win it, I think Nafisa should have won it. So, but 100% Caitlin taking some. It's really going to be dependent too. We're going to see the WNBA offseason officially start soon, where they'll be able to make some moves for. So I'm very interested to see if there's any free agents that are going to try to how they sort of
support
man
her
up and how they support Caitlin. But having Steph White as coach, she's a great coach. I think I 100% could see that happening.
Yeah,
Caitlin
definitely.
Clark had an amazing second half of her season. Kendrick versus Drake beef. We leaving that in 2025 and 2024?
I never picked it up in 2024.
You didn't?
I never really. I mean, I understood it, and I understood where your position was. I saw a fantastic tweet about the entire encapsulation of the Kendrick Drake beef, and everybody turned their back on Drake. It was literally like, this man Drake took every single millennial through a dozen summers, and we're gonna turn our back on him now. And I was like, that hit hard. Everybody remembers Summer 16. Everybody remembers where they were in 2009 and 2010. Best I Ever Had came out, and you were like, what?
Baby, you're my everything. Come on.
And when Drake came out with that, and he hit every single octave and there was so much fluctuation, like, this brother has range. He was in a wheelchair? What? This the same dude? I'm not turning my back on a dude who was our soundtrack, Elle, for a better part of a dozen years. I'm leaving that past.
I was never team abandon Drake. I love this kind of stuff because I'm petty, and I just thought the back and forth was amazing. And, you know, hip hop, when it doesn't turn violent, hip hop feuds sometimes give us some of the best art, some of the best songs. Like, I'm into it. I dug it. To me, the thing that makes me go, ugh, to Drake was the lawsuit. Like, the idea that you got beat so bad and you kept trying to come back for more instead of just laying out and letting it happen to you. You know, you got to play dead here. You got to play possum here.
Okay.
Let him, you know, beat your corpse up. Then eventually it's like, all right, bro, like, you're desecrating a corpse. You got to lay off, Kendrick. Like, but he kept trying to stand up and fight back. And it just, and then you sue. And like, to me, that was just so weak. Okay. But in terms of like Drake,
the lawsuit against Universal Music and Spotify, right? Like them pumping streams.
Yes, as if it was anything more than Kendrick flaming you, people choosing sides as they tend to do in rap beefs, and letting this thing die out. And then 2025 would have been your year. You end it with this lawsuit, and then the beef is going to happen into 2025 because Kendrick is performing at the Super Bowl in February.
He sure is, but
I'm with you. Like, if before all of this beef, and like now people look at you like you're crazy, but before all of this beef, if you would have asked me, and I ask this question to people all the time, if you could only play one artist in everything that they've ever appeared on for the rest of your life, who would you choose? And even though Drake is not my favorite artist, I would say Drake because you get so much music. He's worked with everybody. So you open yourself up to a whole new discography. You get a little hip hop, you get some R&B, you get slow, you get fast, you get dance music, you get vibe. Like, I think Drake has one of the best discographies.
Yes.
Certainly of our generation in terms of breadth and all of those things in depth. So I would have been with you there. To me, the thing that soured me on Drake, and now when I hear his music, I just think, ugh.
I hear his music and I'm like, dude, I'm 23
is the lawsuit. Like, it's just so not hip hop to sue. It's not hip hop to lose a rap battle and sue. I'm sorry. I'm not into it.
Now we're in 2025 though. So Drake, you know what he could bring back? 25 sitting on 25 mil. What a bar. It's 2025. It's perfect. Drake, I'm with you, bro. I'll never leave you, Drake. I'll never leave you, Drake.
Well, there you go. At least you got Gary.
That was OD.
See? That's all he needs. He needs the hot guy who happens to be funny. I'm gonna hit a couple of these very quickly. Okay. Skinny jeans, get the out of here.
Okay.
Low-rise jeans, definitely get the out of here. Low-rise jeans look good on one type of person. Kate Moss, okay? And that's it.
Got it. No hips.
It will create muffin tops where you don't even have one.
Got it.
Having a brat summer. I never really understood what that meant. I know it's Charlie XCX. I understand it. I don't know what entails being a brat besides just liking her music.
You got to be one of those people who are like still in their 300 months old. I'm 450 months old. You're 500. That's not for us.
That's true.
That's not for us.
Yeah, that's for the prepubescent 300-month-olds.
Straight up. 450 months. That's about the threshold.
And lastly, go ahead.
A brat summer. Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Some of that exquisite meat. What?
I was going to say, well, leave it to Gary to say he wants sausage all summer long.
That's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said.
It's, you know what? What's next,
Elle? A brat summer?
Not a brat summer, but a brat summer.
He wants a glizzy summer.
Hey.
Bring me the glizzies.
But hey, I bite it sideways. You just crack your back?
I'm trying to escape, but then I remember it's my show and we still have
What's next?
And the last one.
Got it.
In or out for 2025. 12-team CFP.
Oh. Elle, before we know it's going to be a 14-team CFP, before we know it's going to be a 16-team CFP, there's no looking back. I'm in on the 12-team CFP. March Madness is 64 teams. No one's like, oh, there's too many teams. No. You want the chaos. You invite the chaos. Everybody who's like on their high horse because, ew, why do we have to play this team there? Man, shut up. 12 teams is awesome. 14 teams is going to be great. 16 teams is going to be great. I can't wait till they start the college football season in July. And it ends in March because they're playing 64 games.
It's become the NBA season. 84 games. I'm super in on 12 teams. I honestly, like a moron, naively thought that we would not, once they expanded to 12 teams, be doing this person should have met. I was like, no way we're going to be arguing about who the 12th most important team is. And alas, we are doing that. But I'm super all in on it. Very quickly, though, before we officially put this to bed, because it's been some days now. We didn't have a show last week. Georgia loses to Notre Dame. And like, just one quick thing. I am not Just because you all don't like Georgia, because they've become the new Alabama, because they've become the preeminent, premier program in college football, I am not going to let you all pretend as though the SEC got owned in some horrible manner. They finally got owned. SEC not so great. This is the most mid-Georgia team that Kirby's had probably since his first year. Mm-hmm. They were starting for the first time ever a quarterback. Mm-hmm. They don't have the run game that they had in years past. I think this is the first time in like 8 years they didn't have a consensus All-American. Mm-hmm. They still won the SEC championship, and they had opportunities against a Notre Dame team, by the way. Because when you do that, when you like besmirch and say, oh, the SEC, you're like completely denigrating Notre Dame, who, by the way, is still currently riding the longest win streak in FBS, hasn't lost since they lost to Northern Illinois, and has one of the best defenses in the country. And I'm not going to let y'all just flippantly act like that didn't have anything to do with that game. Like, yes, Notre Dame looked fantastic, and they in many ways dominated Georgia, but that game came down to about 50 seconds. It came down to a very stupid decision at the end of the first half to be aggressive, which ultimately turned into a touchdown for Notre Dame. And then coming out of the half, they returned the kick for a touchdown. Outside of that, that's a closer game than maybe most people believed it should be. And the idea that Georgia was even only a 1-point underdog is insane to me. Yeah. It was his first career start, and I thought Gunnar did a pretty solid job. Sure. I do. But the idea that somehow this is some indictment on all of the SEC, please sit down. Your beloved Texas team that still has an opportunity to play for a national championship for the SEC, by the way, got beat twice by that Georgia team. So please stop.
Sure.
Congratulations to Notre Dame. Well-earned, well-deserved. I actually think Notre Dame's making the national championship. I think they're going to beat Penn State.
Riley Leonard threw for 90 yards and ran for 80. That's what Georgia held him to.
Georgia's defense did a great job.
Penn State's defense, one can argue, stopping the run is better, right?
Sure.
Okay, so you still like Notre Dame? Yeah, no,
I do like Notre Dame. I don't.
Georgia did well with what they had.
Yeah, they won the SEC champion. Yeah. This is the worst Georgia team you're going to see.
Okay.
This is the worst Georgia team you're going to see.
Boom.
10 minutes later.
10. I'm 470 months old now.
All right, let's get to the NFL before we close things out.
All right, Elle, we're playing a little improv.
Okay, Gary loves playing improv. We've done this on the show before. Explain the rules.
All right, this is called Football With Me. We just took a list of a couple of things, random stuff that we've bought. We've already put the list together. Coffee table book, the ladies in hair and makeup, Kara and Daniela helped us with this. A brush, paper shredder, toilet paper, matcha.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Matcha.
And basically, the premise of the game is something like this. Football with the Broncos, and then using something in the list. Football with the Broncos is like this toilet paper. They use the Chiefs to wipe their with. Huh? Because, they won 38-0. Nobody played on the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And the Broncos had to have it for the third straight week, win and get in. So you knew you were going to get this. Plus, they were in the Orange Crush uniforms. Those are so sick. Anyway, that's the game. You got something now?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. Football with the Dolphins is like this toilet paper. They need to clean their up. Dolphins lost. Tyreek Hill, who's under contract for 2 more years, is like, I'm done with football.
Out.
Bro, this man's got 10 kids. He ain't done with football.
No, he's not.
He is not done. He got a $30 million cap hit. He ain't done with football.
Yo, his sound after the game. Let's run that sound.
I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. So it was great playing here, but at the end of the day, bro, I got to do what's best for for my career and what's best, because I'm too much of a competitor to be. Just out there.
Mean you thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey,
it's insane. I'm sorry.
Look, he's tripping.
Cheetah, stop it. You left Kansas City. Mm-hmm. You tried your absolute best to convince us that Tua Tagovailoa was as talented and more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. You took a gamble. You took your money. Good for you. You secured your bag. And it didn't work for you. It didn't work out well. And if only any of us could have predicted that.
Straight
wait,
up.
we did. We all predicted that your best opportunity to continue to win championships was going to be with Kansas City, period. And alas, you made the decision to go to Miami. It didn't work out. You can say all of this, I'm competitive if you want to. If you were that competitive and it was only about that, you would have stayed in Kansas City and had a couple more rings by now.
Which, by the way, the Chiefs, I mean, they weren't that far off. Miami threw them a bag-a-roni, but he would have got that in comps playing in Kansas City.
100%. You won a couple more championships. You do the thing that everybody does. You force their hand. You want a contract sooner than you're supposed to get one. Like, the opportunity was there for you. So now to sort of throw your hands up in the air and go, I hate it because I'm too competitive to be on a losing team that doesn't matter and no one's competing. Like, you had that gift wrapped for you. And now you're upset because it didn't work out. It's okay. It's a gamble. It didn't work out for you.
Boom. Football with the Jets is like this matcha. Gross. Yucky. And nobody's favorite shade of green. Matcha's nasty. My girlfriend likes it, but I don't know.
My husband drinks matcha. I don't get it. Yeah. I'm like, why not just have green tea?
It's supposed to be healthier for you?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know much about it. Football as
That's a bar. You should write for Jell-O. What you
Honestly,
got?
I could.
What you got?
Football as a Texan is like this coffee table book. It's easy to forget it's there.
Oh.
Unless you need to put a drink on it.
Oh.
You forgot the Texans were a playoff team too.
Hey, I mean, they're an underdog at home hosting a playoff game this Saturday to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah, actually, I think the Chargers are going to go into Houston and win that game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah, we'll do the coffee table book. Let's see. Football with the Chiefs is like this coffee table book. They just laid there and didn't open up. Again, they got shut out in Denver, 38-0.
Gary, it's always best when you have to explain your jokes multiple times.
Well, you know.
Again, this makes sense because they got shut out because they didn't. They had 0 points, so they just like laid there. You know how you just like lay there like a dead fish.
Nah, so my favorite thing about Elle is how she's so supportive as a friend. That's my favorite thing about my friendship with Elle. That's definitely it.
I went wrong with this when I went rogue. I didn't do the starts with football with the.
That's okay.
Is that okay? All right.
No, for sure. That's how the rules are.
It's a prime dad joke coming. You ready?
Yes.
Just like Ben and Jerry's, it's so cold in the D. The Lions boat race the Vikings and cement chocolate chip their Super Bowl hopes.
Oh, I like that because those are good flavors. And a cement mixer. Is it Blizzard? A concrete mixer. That's what it is. Yeah, Sarah knows what's up.
They make blizzards and concrete mixers? Or is that just called a blender?
Don't confuse me with all of these options.
Do you drive by construction sites and go, look, they've got the blender out?
No,
is that a thing you do?
No, everybody knows it's not a blender. It's a cement doohickey, okay? Ask me how I
They're
know about
making a
hickeys.
cement milkshake, Mom.
I hate you. Football with the Lions is like this matcha. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. They're going to give you a mouthful.
What?
What? That's all I got, Elle. That's improv.
It's something. Put them in your mouth.
Look at us. What else was going on in the sports media landscape? No, we got to say bye.
I'm just going to let you keep going. Just let you dig your way out of this one.
Finish my sentence. I'm a swerve in that corner. Oh, hell yeah.
Man, it was really fun doing 2024 with you.
Come on.
Looking forward to more 2025.
Let's go. We're only a week in, Elle.
Yeah.
51 more weeks of it.
Yeah. Oh, God. When you put it that way.
I'm excited about it too.
We'll see you guys on Friday.